Good morning, Northside. I'm Jim Richardson. I thought it was kind of funny well, not funny, when I was first asked to give a testimony in front of the Deacon Search Committee. Testimony is simple. I know that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of the living God. That's my testimony, but what most of you want is some background. So here's my background. When I was 10 years old, 1963, in Pauls Valley, Oklahoma, Valley Christian Church on a Sunday night, both my sister and I together, she's a couple years older than I, decided to accept Christ, went forward. And that was a testimony. In our Christian church there, we give a verbal testimony in front of the church. That was a testimony I gave, and it's still my testimony. I was very lucky to have a good Christian upbringing with Christian parents. My dad was very active in the church as a deacon and an elder. My fondest memories were going with him as a very, very active Gideon to the churches in the area. And so I grew up doing that. My senior year, I was scheduled to attend and had a scholarship to attend Midwest Christian Bible College. And something that senior year just told me that that was not my calling. So I was fortunate enough to have a very nice job and paid my own way to college, and decided to pursue that, where I joined ROTC in Oklahoma, and where I met my wife Claudia. So for kids down front, I got my 4-year degree in 6 years. You can also do that. And in 1977, 3 great accomplishments. Our first child, Alicia, was born. I graduated college and was commissioned in the United States Army. So for the next 23 years, we traveled a lot. Being in the artillery, it was mostly Germany, Fort Sill, and then back to Fort Hood, Texas. So my salvation experience wasn't much of a Damascus Road experience, but I did have one, and I wanted to share that with you. In 1990, we had just come back from a National Training Center rotation, and got notified that 1st Cav would be deployed as the 1st Heavy Unit into support at that time Desert Shield. So in September, with one of the lead elements, I was deployed over there. And sitting just south of the Iraqi border in December, I'm listening to tapes, reading letters from home, sitting out on the perimeter in my Humvee, and just one of those moments, kind of getting choked up, worrying about the family at home, worrying about what we were going to do, what was going to happen. And just as clear as I'm speaking to you, this voice said, "Jim, just trust me." And that was a very personal moment. Number one, God was personal enough to know me by name. And number two, it was realization that I wasn't in charge. He was in charge of my family. He was in charge of our operations. He was in charge of everything, and always has been and always will be. So that was my biggest experience, personal experience, and has guided me ever since. In 1994, we were moved to Fort Hood, and when we got to Radcliffe, Barbara Rolette, our realtor, was as concerned about our church home as finding us a home to live in. So she got us involved in Mill Creek Baptist Church, where I served for several years as a Sunday school teacher, also as a deacon, and we still love our family there. But kind of as we moved to Elizabethtown, Claudia's mom came from Ada, Oklahoma, to live at Atri and was attending church with us. It got difficult to pick her up, move every service to Radcliffe. So we started looking for a church home, and it just so happened. I mean, God works in pretty direct ways. There's no doubt what He's doing. The first Sunday we visited here, you were in transition between pastors. We were visiting Joe Deaton's class. Joe was gone. It was a pretty full class, and somebody walked in and said, "Hey, Joe's not going to make it. Can somebody teach?" And everybody was looking around, and I said, "Yeah, I'll do it," because that's what I did at Mill Creek. So, not being on the same lesson, I kind of felt like, hey, this is kind of a calling, It worked for me, so I enjoyed that. And ever since then, we've been blessed with working with the family we've come to know and love here. I appreciate all the experiences we've had, and want to share the blessings that God gave us with our church family here. I thank you for this opportunity. Thanks.